Everything Old is New Again, America's entertainment pop culture talk show.
It may well possess a rudimentary intelligence.
I'm trying to think, but nothing happens.
Felt a great disturbance in the force.
Hello, I'm Mr. Red.
Come on, bark like a dog for me.
Where's the goodies? Leave the gun. Take the cannoli.
I bet you wouldn't have done anything like this if Mom and Dad were here.
You filthy criminal.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Go ahead. Make my day.
Here are your hosts, Douglas Viviani and David Cohen.
Tell me something. You can go anywhere you want, right? Any timeline, any universe. Why do you want to stay and fight to save this one? You change the future, and you change the past.
Aha, look at that. Welcome to Everything Old is New Again. Is that true? That's a little clip from The Flash here with, what would you say, the new and improved David Cohen. How are you,
The
David
fastest man in the world, David Cohen.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, that was The Flash.
And he is able to run so fast that he can time travel.
Crazy.
And they did that in the TV show for quite a number of times. I thought that was interesting. And now they've got Michael Keaton in this, by the way. The original Batman from the movies is now the villain in The Flash. And the movie that's coming out 2022, there's a plethora of movies coming out 2022. We're talking about them, what are good, what are bad. There's a lot of them that are just remakes, so to speak, or reboots, or sequels, or based upon classic characters, or reboots. And that's all cool, fine and dandy. That's what our show's all about. But I'm trying to find some actual original ideas out there for original movies. So we'll explore both as we go through this show, a second show of this topic of the movies 2022, what to see, what not to see. David Cohen, do you have an interest in seeing The Flash?
I do not, Doug.
Why not?
As I might have mentioned on the last show,
yes,
I've maxed out on superhero movies. I cannot watch another one. I need a several-year hiatus. So,
well, here's the interesting part of this.
I'm out.
Did you see the latest Spider-Man?
I did not.
Okay, that was really good.
I heard it was very good. I will not see it.
Without giving away anything from the first Spider-Man movie, which we just talked about, the latest Spider-Man. In this movie, Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton both make appearances as their versions of Batman, because we've got a Flashpoint type of storyline here where there are multiverses, just like Marvel. Is it too much? Why is it similar? Why do we have similar ideas going on here with DC and Marvel? I mean, I know what you're saying.
Because they're successful, and studio executives don't want to gamble on something that hasn't been done before when they could just keep cashing in on the same concept.
But, if I was a DC fan, I'd be upset because Flashpoint, that storyline about time traveling and multiverses, basically, the Flash did that back in the 70s. And the multiverse for Marvel, relatively new. So they'd say, you stole it from us, but Marvel may have, but they did it better.
Yes.
All right, so there's the Flash. I actually have an interest in it because I think the Flash has the ability. He's a young man. He has the ability to have the same kind of quips and exploration of his powers and all that as a young man as Spider-Man. So maybe
he was in the comic books. Flash was a wiseacre, as they used to call it.
He sure was. Exactly.
He's a wiseacre. He used to crack wise.
Yes, he did, just like Spider-Man. So they were similar. So maybe that'll help DC a little bit. I hope so. Anyway, there's another movie coming out, David Cohen, that I don't know, have some interest, doesn't have interest, called The Northman. Let's just play a clip on that.
Why would he stow away to such a hellish place?
To find what was stolen from me.
And what is that?
The kingdom.
You must choose between kindness for your kin or hate for your enemies.
Interesting. A story about Vikings.
Yes, a revenge it's an epic revenge thriller that explores how far a Viking prince will go to seek justice for his murdered father.
Did you ever see the series Vikings on I think it was on Stars, like a year or two ago?
Yeah, I did not. I tried it, and I just kind of lost focus. I
Okay.
did see a trailer for this one, The Northman, though.
What do you think of this?
Well, it's got a cast of thousands, as they say.
Nicole Kidman, who else?
Well, in
Ethan
addition
Hawke?
to being directed by Robert Eggers, Nicole Kidman's in it. Ethan Hawke. Ethan Hawke. No, I got him because I was about to say also in this movie is Bjork. How about that?
No interest.
And your favorite actor, Willem, parentheses, William, per Doug, Dafoe.
Yeah, we say that because I invited William Dafoe on the show and they haven't answered, so I'm going to try Willem.
See if Willem will come on. Oh, and Anya Taylor-Joy.
Oh, okay.
As well.
And Alexander?
Now, from that chess show that was really good.
Yes. There's lots. It's a lot to it. The last time I was interested in Vikings, I did say that old show was okay, but last time I was interested in Vikings was Kirk Douglas in The Vikings. Have you seen that movie?
No.
Oh,
but listen,
man. Come on. You got to get...
But I don't care anymore what the setting is. I used to, right? I would never watch fantasy movies with wizards and dragons. I wouldn't watch it on that premise alone. But since Game of Thrones, and I know this is not a movie, it's a TV show, it's more about, the theme behind it, not where it's taking place. Because Game of Thrones had dragons, I never would have watched it. But I did, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So the fact that this is about Vikings, and I don't necessarily care about Vikings. I don't know a lot of people that do because they don't exist anymore. Right. But I will see it if it's a good movie.
Well, and
I'm done with my rant.
More or less a good character study is what you're saying. You're interested in the character study of the people, the interaction with each other. Is that what you're saying?
The conflict and the yes, exactly.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Production value and
Well, will you then dive into something like called The Lost City?
No.
With Sandra Bullock and Chatham Tanning and Daniel Radcliffe and Brad Pitt. They've got them all in there.
Yes?
Yeah,
sure.
Really?
Yeah, I'm in.
What is that about? Do you remember that one? We're talking about that. Remember? I mean, like, it's something like the Sandra Bullock character is like a novelist, and she gets kidnapped by somebody.
Yeah, it's she gets kidnapped by some eccentric billionaire. Yeah, it's a ridiculous premise, but again, that's fine. I'm not judgmental anymore. I if it's a good movie, I'll go see it. How about that?
I am with you on that. I sort of like that idea. But I still have an open mind with these superheroes, and I've got to tell you, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever is curious to me. I don't know how they're going to do it.
But he's not in it. Unfortunately.
I know. He was amazing. He was a hero. He kept his...
He was the movie to me, Chadwick Boseman, and,
yes.
And I don't know. I'm not really that interested.
That's what I'm saying. I'm curious because they're not replacing the Black Panther character. Does that mean there's not going to be a Black Panther in the Black Panther movie? I don't know what they're thinking here, so I'm curious about that. In the comics, Black Panther goes from one person to another, generation to generation, which they sort of explained in the first Black Panther movie. So they could have done where, that the original character just however you define it, moved on, and there's another Black Panther. But they keep on saying they're not going to do anything. So that's what makes me curious to me is how are they going to handle this if they're not going to have another Black Panther in a Black Panther movie?
Right.
So unless I'm misunderstanding the way they're promoting it, and that's totally possible.
But are you going to go see it?
Absolutely. I love that character. That character to me was, now I'm going back to the comics in the 70s, was the fifth Fantastic Four member. If you ever read Fantastic Four, he would be introduced all the time, and he was their buddy, and he was on the par with Mr. Fantastic, intelligent-wise, and I just love that character, and so sad to see the death of the star that really, he really brought that franchise into, Academy Award-winning levels of acting and of storytelling. So, very sad. So, but I guess I'm going to say I'm really torn because I don't want to see it without him either. I don't know what to say. I'm really up in the air. It depends what the storyline is. Let's put it that way.
Okay, fair enough.
I'll go with that. Now, another one it'll be the last superhero I'm going to talk about, I think. Well, not necessarily, but there might be one others. But Morbius. You have any interest in this? You have any clue what Morbius is all about, what it is?
When you said superhero, I stopped listening. What are you talking about? No, I don't. But tell me about it.
I don't know anything about Morbius, and so that's why I'm confused about the whole thing. To be honest with you, it's a Columbia one. Columbia Pictures. It's not really in the Marvel universe.
It's not Morpheus, right? It's Morbius.
Morbius.
Okay, then I have no clue.
So we'll have to figure this out. But this is more or less, it's Marvel, but it's in the Columbia Pictures, which is, if you're familiar, all of the good ones are from Disney. Columbia is just the extra characters they kind of throw into the Columbia, the different movie studio. It's where Venom is, and it's sort of a different movie making. So I don't know what's going to happen there. Now, your mouth was wide open agape. I thought you were surprised. Instead, you were yawning. So we'll...
I'm just waiting until we get off the superhero thing.
We are. There's one more superhero we'll talk about as we return. We'll be back with everything else.
Now, back to America's entertainment pop culture talk show. Everything old is new again with Douglas Viviani and David Cohen.
Is that all?
Well, of course.
No, young sir, you're too simple. Why, you might have said a great many things. Why waste your opportunity? For example, thus, kindly, do you love the little birds so much that when they come and sing to you, you give them this to perch on? Cautious. Take care. A weight like that might make you top-heavy.
Welcome back to Everything Old is New Again. Boy, you're not going to know what that is. That's
what
from
the heck was that?
1950, Jose Ferrara in Cyrano de Bergerac. If you haven't seen it and you're looking for something to watch, and I'll set this so this is leading down the road, you've got to see this movie. Cyrano de Bergerac is such a great story.
Why? Why should we see this particular take on it?
Because his presentation, usually it's stuffy. If you see the plays, if you see other, usually it's stuffy and it's drab. He makes it come alive. You can hear every word, and it's so well written. They stuck steadfast and went right with what the book says, and the way that he presents his arguments. He shows a genius and a panache that you just don't. Yes, you do not see in movies today.
Now I have to see it.
Yeah, it's really good.
You uttered the word panache. Yes. I have to see this movie.
I'm telling you.
But you're saying this for a reason. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. But
that's okay. That's the foundation of a movie that's coming out now. We're talking about movies in 2022. Right. That, of course, is based upon the Cyrano de Bergerac, classic individual novel. And thereafter, there've been, like I said, lots of remakes. Before we get to the one that's out now, I want to just compare that to where we come from. There also was an incarnation. Do you remember this? Roxanne, 1987, with Steve Martin.
I think she's fallen in love, but she doesn't know it yet. There's someone I think I should get to know better. His name's Chris McConnell.
So why'd you say those things?
Tell her you were afraid of words.
Because I was afraid of worms, Roxanne. Worms!
Worms?
Love may be blind, but hopefully Roxanne isn't.
Now, did you see that movie, Roxanne?
I saw it. I saw it in the theater with Steve Martin as Cyrano de Bergerac, and with the prosthetic, very long nose he had. And one of the best scenes ever when he went on that rant where he was cutting people off and making jokes about the length of his nose that was wittier and funnier than anything anyone else had said.
And that's what Jose Ferrara did to open this section of our show. It's exactly what that scene was. But
okay,
I want to explain to me, in my world, what you just said and explore that, because I think Cyrano de Bergerac, the chronological history of it is exactly our show, Everything Old is New Again, because you saw Jose Ferrara do what he just did, and he went on and on and on with that. Soliloquy, but it goes on and on. And then in Roxanne, he rewrote that and made it contemporary and made it one of your best parts of the movie. So he created something that was as good, if not better, than the original, and made it something that you'd want to be part of, right? And that's what it's all about, the foundation, and he built upon the foundation. Now, I don't know how Cyrano is going to be coming out now, 2022, but Peter Dinklage from Great Game of Thrones is in it. I think they're changing the nose to his physical stature.
Yes, I've seen the trailer for the film. Yeah. Okay,
and it's also a musical.
It's a musical.
Yes.
And as soon as in the trailer she's in, the subject, the love interest is in the carriage and she's looking out the window, she breaks into song.
Yeah.
And I remember turning to my wife and I'm like, oh no. But I have to tell you, at least in the trailer, the song's pretty good. And,
that's the thing.
And the way they shot the music, I actually didn't mind it.
I'm going to hold out hope because I want it to be good. This is one of my favorite characters of all time. This and the Hunchback of Notre Dame, believe it or not.
Favorite characters.
Yes,
cool.
yes.
And Peter Dinklage is just phenomenal.
The clips I've seen of him acting, he's really very cool, very, he has the panache. And panache is important for this particular character, but he has that stature. And the emotional and the intellectual and the physical with the sword fighting and all that, he looks really good at this role. I
agree. I'm excited about it, and I'm like you. I'm hopeful that it lives up to the expectations.
Yeah, because that was the one negative to me was, oh my goodness, where's the nose? Okay, they did something else. I balked at it in my mind for like a split second, then I said, oh my God, that's perfect. And then I saw him, the clips and his acting. This is going to be great. And then I heard the music. It's a musical, and I hesitated. Listen, musicals can be great. Who says it's not going to be great?
Because this version was a musical, an actual live production. That's what this is based on.
So I hope that it works. It might work beautifully. Yes. Like the Greatest Showman was brand new music. Loved it. So this could be the same thing. Let's hope. Of course, it depends upon the music. Without saying a word, that's clearly what needs to carry the day if you're going to make a musical. So let's hope, because everything else is lining up beautifully for that show or that movie. All right, let's take a look. There's something else. I saw a clip a little ways back, and it wasn't this, but this is the origin of this next character.
Buzz Lightyear mission log, stardate 4072. My ship is run off course en route to Sector 12.
1995.
Strange planet. The impact must have awoken me from hypersleep. And there seems to be no sign of intelligent life anywhere.
Hello? Oh, yeah. Whoa! Hey, whoa. Did I frighten you? Didn't mean to. Sorry. Howdy. My name is Woody, and this is Andy's room.
All right. From Toy Story, right? The original, 95. Now, that's, a franchise unto itself, and they've made 4 movies, and they've all been successful. Tom Hanks and so forth. And it's been, pretty good. Where can you go with it from there? You know where I'm going with this, David, yet or no? You look inquisitive.
I do. I think I do know where you're going.
All right, so let's hear this next clip, and then we'll talk.
Let's get everyone home.
Good luck, Captain. We're all counting on you.
Roger that. Hello, Buzz. I am Socks, your personal companion robot.
We're being pursued by just a massive robot.
Okay, so that's Lightyear coming out now. And when I didn't think they could do anything with Toy Story, they, I think, have been real original with this. And I hope it's a good story. They are now with Chris Evans, who is the Captain America character, is going to be the actual Lightyear, Buzz Lightyear.
So it's not an animated, it's computer animated.
It's not animated at all.
So he's doing the voice?
Yeah, he's computer animated. He's doing the voice, but it's supposed to be not the doll, the figurine, the toy, but the real person that the toy's made after.
Oh, I see. That's interesting.
Yeah, so it's like having a Neil Armstrong, let's say, figurine, a doll that comes to life. That's one character. But Neil Armstrong himself that inspired the figurine is what this is about.
So that's why they're not using Tool Time. What's his name's voice?
Correct.
The original Buzz Lightyear.
Correct.
I see.
Not going to happen. I think this has really got potential to be great. So interesting, but it could be a real flop too. But it's going to stand on its own. I really am interested in that. You?
Maybe.
It's not been done before. It's so interesting. They work
that's
it backwards. It's
like an interesting idea. I like the idea.
Sort of like a prequel to Toy Story, if that makes sense. Who was the real person they made Buzz this figurine out of? It had to be a big hero. What's
Are they going to do one for?
I guarantee.
Are they going to do one for
Woody?
Woody?
I guarantee you they do if this goes over well.
Right.
We'll see. All right. How about
Pinocchio?
Yes.
What you crying for?
Because you're dead, Pinocchio.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. Now lie down.
But Father, I'm alive. See? And I'm real. I'm a real boy.
Now, if you really think about that story, think about this story. What I just played there, what's really being told here? What really happens in Pinocchio? Isn't he similar to Frankenstein in some ways? He's creating life from lifelessness. He's recreating
That's really deep.
Yes, and guess what? 2022, Guillermo del Toro has come out with a new Pinocchio, and he takes that turn on it. Listen to this.
I want to tell you a story. It's a story you may think you know, but you don't. You see, I, Sebastian J. Cricket, was there. As a matter of fact, I actually lived in the heart of the wooden boy.
So, maybe that doesn't explain all of it there, but that's from the perspective of Jiminy Cricket. And I just think it's I've read about this. He's taking the turn of sort of a Frankenstein kind of thing. Is it right to do this? Was it appropriate? How did he do this? He made a real boy out of wood. What's happening here? And explored that part of it as opposed to just accepting that part. Does that make sense?
Yeah, this is an animated movie.
Yeah, it's another one of these stop motion animation.
But you know what? The only
doing it with Jim Henson's
The only reason
company.
I paused because it also has a cast of thousands, famous people doing voices. But apparently, this has been in production for for many, many, many years, and usually that's not a good sign.
It could not be a good sign, but when you do stop motion animation, that's old school. That's put this figurine up, take a picture, move it a split degree, and take another picture. That takes a long time to do. I'm with you. I get you. I get that hesitation. I just think that's a very interesting take and something brand new on an old story, and I really love that idea of it. You tell me.
Yeah, I agree with you. We'll see how it
does it turn dark. Is it dark? Are there consequences? Is he really turning a piece of wood into a real boy? What's up?
That's right.
We'll find out more when we come back and everything old is new again about the movies 2022.
What's the buzz about this wooden boy? See, I'm combining the Toy Story.
Now, back to America's entertainment pop culture talk show. Everything old is new again with Douglas Viviani and David Cohen.
Holy, great interview! Hi, this is Burt Ward, Robin from TV's Batman. You're listening to Douglas Viviani and David Cohen's fabulous radio show, Everything's Old is New Again. To the Batmobile, citizens.
How about that? Well, this is so interesting that we have Burt Ward on our show.
That was so cool.
And
as kids watching Batman and Robin, did you ever imagine that someday Robin could utter your name, Doug?
I'm speechless because no, I never would have. I really do enjoy that. I think that's
one of the best returns we have for sure.
Oh, no doubt. He did a great job.
He sounds the same as he did in the 60s, right?
I have to tell you, some people come on the show and I go, I'd love to have him come back, but it came out so good the first time. You go, am I going to ruin it if we have him come back or not? It
was a great show.
Yeah, we really enjoyed that. So now, the reason why I mentioned that is, of course, Batman's been going on and on and on. And I want to explore for a moment, of course, The Batman is coming out 2022. It has a brand new actor playing Batman, which is...
it has a brand new actor. Well,
yes, Robert Pattinson. Their theory is this is going to be the next 3 movies that they're taking more of Batman as a detective, whatever that means, and they're expecting to go into a TV series for HBO Max. I know you're excited about all of this.
Everything you're saying is just whetting my appetite to see what else is out there.
Well, you know what you need? You need to go back to the original 1966.
I need an attitude adjustment.
Here it is.
Let's go. But inconspicuously. Through the window.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
I've rarely met a girl who's such a potent argument in favor of international relations.
You filthy criminals.
Surrender! You criminals!
You abominable outlaws. They may be drinkers, Robin, but they're also human beings.
Maybe drinking. That all was from 1966-67 Batman with Adam West. Again, I've got to go back to it, and I think you're going to agree. We've done this to death, but the point is, look at the fun they had with those characters.
Yeah, it was, look, it's very different from the comic book that they did back in the 60s, the TV show. It was just a very campy version of it. I'd like to see a movie made in that vein. I think that would go over really well, don't you?
I 100% believe that. And now, 1989, we had Batman with Jack Nicholson and Michael Keaton. It had a little bit of that because Nicholson was...
No, come on.
No, not even this?
Not even a hint.
What the hell are you? I'm Batman.
Very serious.
Wait till they get a load of me.
I mean, he really was dark. I agree. It wasn't anything close to 66. But that's why I said it, because that movie turned the corner on Batman and took us down to where we are now. I mean, let's be honest. That movie set the tone. Batman's a serious character. And we've not gotten away from that at all. And that's fine. But again, after a while, wow, there's so much seriousness. He doesn't even joke around.
I think you
ever.
and I should think about producing a movie that's in the spirit of the 1960s TV series.
I agree.
I think it would go over really big.
Let's do it. What can we do? How can we do that? Let's contact Terry Winter and any of the other contacts.
Get Terry Winter to so we have him as the showrunner, and then we can get Peter Weller to direct it. I think we might be onto something.
Exactly. I like that.
I don't know what we would do, but
we would executive
make
produce.
It happen. We'll make movie magic.
I think it could be done. Maybe better than this. You tell me.
If this continues, it won't be long before you've nothing left.
I don't care what happens to me.
It's only going to get worse for you. Maybe we're not so different. Who are you under there?
I'm vengeance.
All right, so now he's vengeance. He's very mean and angry. But listen,
Wait,
Batman.
who is this? What?
I'm sorry. That was the brand new Batman. The Batman.
Oh, okay.
And he's got doesn't have Burt Ward. He has Catwoman by his side for some of the time.
Who plays Catwoman?
Hold on.
Zoe Kravitz. Okay. I like the cast.
Yes.
The cast seems pretty cool.
Yeah.
John Turturro, Jeffrey Wright. Yeah.
It could be
Andy
good.
Serkis.
It could be good.
But it's probably going to be the same old thing.
I just want it to be like, could he just, he has all this
Aren't
money.
You tired of seeing the Batman story, though? Seriously.
The brooding Batman. I want to see him do his thing. I want to see him. No, the detective side I kind of like, because that is from the 60s. If you really, it's not fun, but he was a detective in the 60s. They had the computer and they figured out the Riddler's jokes, and that's what he's trying to do in this one. What does it mean? Where's it going? But lighten up a little bit. Do it I guess that's why Iron Man was so well done, because it's the same kind of character. The rich guy, and he becomes a superhero.
Are we going to see him witness his parents' murder? Really?
No,
are we going to have to sit through that again?
No, this is taking off from this is already Batman, and he's involved in his escapades, which is what I like. Okay. Let's see what goes on. I don't need another origin story. I think we're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. What did you think of Christian Bale when he did it? You didn't like it?
No.
Oh, I loved all three of those movies. I loved them. You didn't like them?
No, not at all.
Wow. I thought they did a great job.
I know. I understand that it's sort of a contrary view, but I did not like him.
Wow.
I did not like him as Batman.
You like Ben Affleck? That guy you liked? No. He was the worst.
Right.
Okay. At least we agree on that. All right. How about Elvis?
Elvis as Batman? I would see that.
We got a movie.
There's been enough of you.
Commissioner Gordon. It was going to go somewhere with with Batgirl and
so Elvis.
Yvonne Craig, who played Batgirl,
yes,
had a relationship with Elvis. Just
tying
it together.
Right.
Just tying it
that's
together.
That's right.
Okay.
Very good.
Thank you. Certainly, and there's an Elvis movie coming out, 2022. Now, this is dangerous, but could be worthwhile. Lots of people. I know my son still. He gets in the bath. He goes, "Put on Burning Love." He wants to hear Elvis music. Is that, I don't know. Do your son have any interest in Elvis? Did he miss it? Where do we go on this? This generation now.
I think he had. I don't know. I mean, I don't think he really was into Elvis, but I think all you have to do really is watch that '68 comeback special to get a sense of what Elvis was really all about. And how could you not like him after watching that? But with that said, the only reason that I have an interest in this movie is some of the, the star power behind it. Like it's directed by Baz Luhrmann, who I like, and Tom Hanks is in it. And I'm not saying that I'm not trying to be, funny. But I think there's very few projects that Tom Hanks has been involved with that have not been good, right? They've mostly been really good. So I'm a little hopeful about this one.
And I think he plays the Colonel.
He's not playing Elvis, that's for sure.
You're
right though. I think he's playing Colonel Tom Parker.
Yeah, and I think it depends how they handle it and where are they going to go. But I'd like to see them focus on the talent and what he actually did creating these songs or not. At least not the whole movie, but can we explore something that hasn't been explored? Did he play the guitar? Did he write any music? No. But did he play the guitar a little bit? Was it really a musician or was he just, a singer? Who did the arrangements? And there's a little bit of that. I want to explore that. Like what made him so was he just a voice and a good looking guy, or was he more than that? That's the premise of the movie that I want to see.
Right.
I hope that they do some of that. We'll see. We'll find out. I don't want to see, everything and end, on
typical like biopic.
Yeah, I don't want to see end on on a stretcher and leaving, dead and whatever. Let's explore the life of this guy. What was it all about? Because I don't think it's really been done right at all. It's always been biopics and just paint by numbers. He taped this, he did this song for this recording studio, and then he met the Colonel, and then he moved on. Then he did movies, and then he died from drugs. Like he the same thing. All that. I want to see something. Explore it. Anyway, I've said it. I think this.
Yeah, I totally agree. I have high hopes,
and I think they will do that. I have to be honest with you.
I mean, two of the characters are Elvis's parents, so they're in this too. So that's interesting.
Yeah, and even my son. I mean, maybe just my son. He knows that Elvis was a twin, and his twin brother died at birth. I mean, he's into it. It might inspire a little bit more excitement into the Elvis phenomenon if they do it right with the next generation. I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah, I mean, there were many good things about Elvis. There were bad things about Elvis, and
that's good too. Like you learned the lessons.
Hopefully, it'll be a balanced story.
But also a lesson learned. I mean, it could be that kind of a tale as well. Look what happens. You have everything, and then you blow it on a pill or whatever. Like I don't know. It could be a cautionary tale. We'll see. We'll be back on Everything Old is New again to continue talking all things movies 2022.
This is Everything Old is New Again, America's entertainment pop culture talk show with Douglas Viviani and David Cohen.
Foo Fighters, you gotta get me a record.
It's our 10th album. We gotta break the mold on this one. Let's go somewhere we've never been. Do you guys get this overwhelming sense of debt?
That was weird.
The sound of this house is the sound of album 10.
What is that about? This is Douglas Viviani with David Cohen. We're exploring one more section here of the movies coming out 2022, good, bad, or indifferent, new or old ideas. Should we go see them or not? There is no other source for this kind of information you need to go to. We're summarizing the entire year in these two shows. That is Studio 66. David Cohen, tell me a little bit about this thing.
It's Studio 666.
Oh, holy smokes, you're right.
And there's an important difference there. One is an old highway, and the other one is, well, I think we all know what it's supposed to represent.
Yes.
But this movie, in a weird way, stars Foo Fighters, the band, and it's about them in this fantastical movie. I'll just kind of tell you that. So the Foo Fighters are in the studio and they're struggling to record their latest album at some mansion in Encino, when David Grohl, who is the front man for Foo Fighters and of course formerly of mind blank. Anyway, they are. He is forced to battle supernatural forces within this house, this mansion. Isn't that weird?
Kurt Cobain's group.
Kurt Cobain's group. We're circling the drain as you and I slowly lose our minds. Nirvana.
Nirvana. There you go. Well, I got close.
You got a lot closer than
At least got you in the ballpark. Listen, here's a story. I think it's interesting coming from, let's just go look at it as a weird way to look at it. The Beatles, right? Hard Day's Night. It's a day in the life of the Beatles, real life and so forth. Not many films have been made. There was a Kiss TV movie, right? With a band in it, a real band. Not sure that was so memorable or good. And I don't really remember any other bands being in movies. I'm sure there was. You tell me.
The Monkees were in a TV show.
TV show, The Monkees, but they really weren't a real band. It became... All right,
but you're right. Okay. Not in an actual movie starring themselves.
Yeah, so now this is very interesting. He wrote this, by the way, and this is an interesting turn where he's kind of blurring reality, right? They're in a studio or this house, whatever. They're going to make their 10th album, and all of a sudden, mysterious things happen and horrific things happen.
Hijinks ensue.
Exactly. It could be a disaster, but I think it's going to be good. I think we're going to look at something here that you're going to say, "Wow, man, they blurred the line." It just, again, this is totally different.
Well, can they act though? You know, that's a big part of it.
Yes, I agree.
Just because you're a rock and roll star in a band doesn't mean you're a good actor.
I agree. But how good do you have to be? I mean, how good were the actors in Friday the 13th?
You got to be good. You got to be really, really good. That's how good you got to be.
You got to be able to scream and, whatever. I don't know. I'm going to give this a shot hesitantly because I'm off the horror thing. I don't like them anymore. But I will dive into this one because it's got that.
But rock horror might be not Rocky horror, rock horror.
Exactly. That might be something I'm very interested in. Now, I don't have any information on this next one, and I don't know why. So I'm going to play it, and maybe it'll tell us a little something. It's called The Unwelcome.
Is anyone there? I can't be scared. Not in my own house.
Don't leave your missus alone with the lads.
It's a horror movie. It looks like it's about a house that people explore and buy, and it's one of these homes that go awry.
Did you say horror movie or horrible movie?
It looks like it might be horrible. The reason why I put it in there, Colm Meaney, Star Trek: The Next Generation and Voyager. The character O'Brien he plays in this movie,
as everyone knows,
and therefore I've got to play that because there's our Star Trek reference. What can I tell you?
There you go.
Better than that, and I don't know what your take is going to be on this, and I don't know what mine is, to be honest with you. But let's just play this first.
Happy Halloween, Michael.
Halloween ends.
I'm coming for you, Michael.
All right, so now we've got Jamie Lee Curtis coming back, reprising her role. You're
so
confused. Yes.
I thought the last one was supposed to be the last time in the last Halloween movie.
Now, the last one on the books is 2021 Halloween Kills. Did you see that?
Isn't that the one that was supposed to be the last one with Jamie Lee Curtis?
Yes, but the original apparently they came up with another idea, and now this is the final one, and it's been announced that this is the final one, and I'm glad for that. That I'm glad for. My question is, I don't know what's going to happen here. Here's the thing. I love Halloween, the movie. I hated the third Halloween. Second was okay. Beyond that, the rest of them were a waste of time. I did waste my time, but I wasted my time because I wanted to. I sort of was curious, but they all were a waste of time. Then the reincarnation with, what's that guy? He did a horrible job on the original reincarnation. Rob Zombie did that. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Terrible. Then they did this. Now there's this new run with Laurie Strode, coming back as a character with Jamie Lee
So
Curtis.
I was wrong. So maybe the one from last year was not intended to be the last one. I thought I had heard it was.
There was a one. I should look this. I could swear there was one before Halloween Kills.
Yeah, with her. Yes.
Yes. So that's a trilogy now with her. And this is the final one. And here's the thing. I get it that she's mad. I get she has a gun. I get that she has all this stuff to protect everybody. I get that she's after Michael. How do you make 3 movies out of that is my only problem.
It's 4. I'm reading about it. This is the 4th and final installment.
Of this. All right. So
of this new Halloween canon.
They really milked it, and... Are they any better than the ones we didn't like after the second one?
I honestly, since the very first one and the sequel right after that, I have not seen any.
All right, now that this is the last one, will you dive into this one?
I will not.
Oh, man.
I don't care.
You don't?
I don't care.
Yeah, I kind of don't either.
I'm sure it's probably good. I don't.
I usually love that stuff. I've gone away from horror. I don't know. Whatever. How about the Adam Project, David Cohen? That one I'm going to watch.
You are? Why?
Well, it's a man about a time travels, and I love time travel. It goes back in time.
Time travel. It has some superhero actors in it.
It does. I don't care about that. And I don't really care about that, to be honest with you. I never care about actors.
But they played superheroes. You care about superheroes.
Yeah, so what?
So you got Mark Ruffalo, right?
But he's not the Hulk in here.
No, Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, he's not the Green Lantern.
But they're not the superheroes, so you're not.
Yeah, okay.
But you are interested in the movie.
Very interested in the movie. Jennifer Gardner also was a superhero, by the way. Zoe Saldana is in this as well. So there are superhero people here. I love the idea of time traveling, go back in time, talk to your younger self, and help the younger self get better, almost like Back to the Future. But here there might be, I don't know what the confrontation is. It's going to confront his late father. I don't know if that's a good or bad confrontation. I don't know what that's about. So that's going to turn this story for me to see what is this confrontation. It has potential to be very good. Don't know what the confrontation is. Is it because he spanked him or something? Then I'm not going to go for it. Is it because it was some? I don't know. Whatever. He did something that he didn't like. But is there some serious, involvement here? Some serious soul searching that needs to be done? Whatever. Some meeting of the minds and what have you. I'm in for that. Like you say, it doesn't matter the premise. If the characters are doing something cool, I'm into it.
Okay, I agree with that.
And finally, what about the tragedy of Macbeth, David Cohen?
Not the Coen brothers, but written and directed by Joel Coen.
Yep.
And has some fantastic actors, and it would be great if I'm holding out hope for this one. Frances McDormand, Denzel Washington. So. Yeah, I'm hoping this is good.
But is this different? Is this going to be Macbeth, or is this something else?
I don't know. That's a good question.
It's the story of the way they're presenting it. It's the story of Macbeth. So we'll see how they, if there's a different take on it or not.
I would imagine it's Macbeth, and maybe they're just calling it what is it called? The tragedy of Macbeth.
Yeah.
Is that what the Shakespeare play was called? I'm so ignorant about this.
It says based on Macbeth by William Shakespeare. It says based on. But the synopsis I'm reading here is basically the Macbeth story. So maybe there's some different take on it, whatever. I'm very interested. I finally, for once, want to see Shakespeare done that I can understand what the heck is going on. Because they're great stories. But I just don't understand that language and all that. It turns me off.
If you want to see a good Shakespeare movie where you can understand what's happening, just Google any movie that was. We talked about this actor in the last episode we did. Keep talking. I'm going to look this
Kenneth
up.
Branagh?
I will help you.
Because he did Henry VIII.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Kevin Branagh and his then wife at the time.
Yep. Yes, I agree.
Keep going. I'm going to tell you.
He did some great stuff, too. I forget which one he did. I thought it was... I don't remember now which one
I'm going to tell you in a few minutes, but
yeah,
I don't want to hold up the show.
I love his work. I don't know why. I don't think he's done anything bad. He takes a lot of time doing his stuff. He puts it together, and it's done. Like I say, he's going to be in Death in the Nile.
If you want to see a good movie where you can understand Shakespeare for once, There are two movies that Kevin Branagh did, both, I believe, with his wife at the time, Emma Thompson. The one that sticks out to me most is Much Ado About Nothing. And then he also did, I believe, prior to that, Henry V.
Nice.
Either one, they do the play in movie form, but the way they perform it makes it completely understandable. It's amazing.
So that's what I'm going to do. I'm in on that. I've seen the Henry one. I'm going to see the other, and I really, really think he's great. We will be back next week talking all good things, pop culture, entertainment, on Everything Old's New Again.